I guess I'm not gonna get to Injustice today. So this is now Tokido Akuma. Again, I mentioned I've been playing Akuma, and I really want to understand his neutral game better. And it'll be against Poongko, who I haven't seen play SF5 in Season 2 yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. I haven't seen him play Urien at all. You know, in Season 1, his Kami was good. I mean, he did well at some majors. But, you know, it wasn't sort of up there with how his Seth was in Street Fighter 4. I just didn't feel like the game played to his strengths as well. But I do feel like Season 2 plays more to his strengths. And I can see him making Akuma work. You know, I feel like he's one of the people who I can imagine making the character work out. I feel like you have to have almost a grappler mentality with Akuma. That's part of why I've been playing him, actually. And, you know, I've seen Snake Eyes play him. I think that kind of makes sense because he's sort of a forward-moving Shoto. He's not like a zoning Shoto. At least that's how it seems to me. You know, when we saw Tokido earlier, he was definitely playing the mid-range game, so we'll see how it turns out. But I like that for Poongko as a result. I think that's kind of cool. So far, Jeff Gesas asks, how do you think Akuma fares in Season 2? I feel like he's not that great. I feel like he's mid-tier, you know? I don't know if he's even mid-tier. I feel like he might be lower mid. Obviously, it's early, you know? And the Capcom Pro Tour hasn't even started yet, so we'll see. But I feel like his neutral game is not as strong as I would have expected. And I feel like he's geared so heavily towards offense, and yet his offense is not as strong as like a Miko or a Laura. You know, it's not quite that level of damage output in stun, in typical situations anyway. So, I don't know. So little life too. He really can't make that many mistakes. You don't think Tokido would bother him if he was just mid? Yeah, you might be right. Certainly, historically, Tokido has picked strong characters. That said, in Ultra Street Fighter 4, Tokido talked about how he was playing Akuma in that version, even though he did not believe that Akuma was still top tier in that version. I think ultimately that was probably not true. I think he probably still was really good, but he wasn't good in the same way as he was earlier in Street Fighter 4's life. He had to play a different, more grounded style, and he said that was tough for him, and he had to figure it out. But he wanted to figure it out, and he did. I mean, he ended up being very, very strong. So I feel like that this might be sort of the carryover of that new Tokido, you know, that he's just going to play his dude. More details about the grappler mentality. Well, the grappler mentality, I feel, is being willing to take risks on the way in more than you would be with other characters, because you know that once you get in, that's the payoff. You know, you think of your life bar as being like cash that you're willing to spend in order to get the payoff of being close, and once you're close, your mix-ups are good enough and they are damaging enough that you expect to win the round, even though you've lost life in the process of getting up close. So I feel like that's the mentality that you have to play a grappler well. And so far, I feel like you have to have that mentality with Akuma, too. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have very much life. You know, he has 200 and whatever less than Geef. What is it, 225? I think he has 875, if I recall correctly. You know, having that mentality might be helpful, but you can't get hit. So, I don't know. We will see. We will see. The world, though, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're being serious, but just because you can't EXDP with Akuma against people who neutral jump doesn't mean that the game is bad. It's just a design choice. Who cares? Why does that matter? And yes, it definitely is weird that Geef cannot cancel flex into V-Trigger when he's already in V-Trigger. I don't know why that is. That was one of the things that I was really hoping for in Season 2, but they didn't do it. You know what? Actually, let me take a quick break. I need to get some water. I'll be back in just a quick second. Let me just put this on the old break. Break time. Be back soon. All right. So let's check out this match. I guess I was talking about Poongko playing Akuma well, but I like the idea of him on Urien a lot. I like the idea of everybody on Urien. Urien is strong enough in enough ways that I feel like he's everybody's style. You know, he just has so many things. Do you want to play offense? Yeah. Do you want to do setup stuff? There you go. Do you want to take risks? You can do that. Do you want to be safe? You can also do that. Like, I just feel like he has so many things. Oh man, he's such a good character. Anyway, let's watch how he plays.
Fight.
Very different style, clearly, from Tokido than when he was playing against Geef, right? You can already see it. Because he doesn't need to worry about a lot of things. There's no lariat to stop him, there's no B-skill to stop him. Yeah, that's plus on block. You gotta respect that crouching medium kick. Oh man, that could have been so big for Urien. And of course he was pressing buttons afterward, he gets crushed. Really? That wasn't a bait? He just walked back to Super Turbo Fireball DP range, apparently. That's your triggers. Oh, he got that. Dang, that was just a runaround. He had everything going for himself. Poongko, look, like Poongko, I feel like he can be so strong. Like there's like this potential Poongko somewhere up there that is so strong. He just doesn't want to play like that most of the time. Like, have you ever known somebody like that who you think, wow, they could be, like, awesome if they just, you know, took it seriously or did X or Y rather than A and B. But they just like doing A and B. They just don't like doing X or Y. I feel like that's Poongko. That he has shown that he has such good footsies if he wants to play like that. He has such good patience if he wants to play like that. And yet he just doesn't play like that. Haha, say Jam, you did the same thing today? That's funny. I mean, I don't know, not on purpose, but shoutouts to us. Like why the roundhouse, you know? And I even feel like, well, I'll go back later, but I feel like that was just him doing stuff and it worked out as well. I don't know why he just hang out, dude. EX at some point. Oh yeah, fierce. Okay, there it is. Ooh, that was such good spacing. Ooh. I really like his patience right now. I think he's played the last 10-20 seconds really well. Oh boy. Oh, that was good. Just like a kind of no-nonsense way to deal with that. Is that it? Seal the deal here. Yeah. Okay, let's go back a little bit, because... Just like watch most of this round again. So once he settled down a little bit, that's what I was talking about. Okay, this dude definitely just did knees. He was just like, yeah, it's knees time. Knees. He's just doing it for sure. But it worked out, so shoutouts to him. But then after that, I felt like he really settled it down a little bit and played like a solid Urien game. Solid buttons, good spacing and timing on the fireballs. Stand Fierce is canceled, well, why not? Excellent spacing there, you know, hopping over. I just feel like he was like, alright, fine, like, dash back roundhouse for whatever reason isn't gonna work out? Okay. Let's play a little bit differently then. And I really like that way that he ended up playing, the more mid-range control game. Oi. Yeah. That button is so good. Crouching medium kick is so good. I feel like that's one of the best buttons in the game. In fact, I feel like if you were to count up the best buttons in the game, how many do you think Urien would have out of the top 10? I feel like he would have like more than his fair share. That is for sure. For sure. Very strong character.
Final round. Fight.
Oh, look at this range that all of a sudden Poongko plays. I really like that. You know, oh yeah? Is that there in time? Sick. That was like the end of the spacing too. But like as Poongko, I don't think that you can be worried too much about that. Like an individual hit's less important than controlling over time, especially against a character like Akuma. Oh wow, he thought that was gonna get through. I do really like how Tokido plays this though. Oh yeah, buttons. Oh man. Oh, he's trying to confirm crouching medium kick. Can he do that? If you can do that, then you're ridiculous. Okay. Oh, he was looking for the jump. Oh, trigger super. Oh, he just got it. Oh, dang. All right. That was good. That was good. So, remember all this talk that we were talking about, paying attention to the air versus the ground and how that really affects, for example, that Itazan versus Kazunoko matchup. Think about all the ground control that we have been seeing out of Poongko, right? That last round I talked about how he had a lot of good ground stuff. This time he starts off very, very buttonsy on the ground, not jumping, not being a wild man, just like kind of controlling stuff there. Not getting every hit, obviously, but like the goal of him is, of his play is to control. Even though he gets hit here, the goal is clearly to control, right? And so Tokido sees that. So that's why that jump worked out. That jump fierce. Because I was thinking to myself, why would that jump forward work out? Like, he doesn't have... I don't know, he's not like a particularly great jumping character. He has good buttons, but it's not like he has some Laura jump short or some Cammy dive kick. No, instead it's because he had spent all of that time controlling things. And when he finally jumped, Tokido just wasn't ready for it. He didn't get hit either. You know, it didn't lead to much, but establishing that ground control is why that worked. But anyway, we saw the rest of this. I feel like there were just some miscalculations on Poongko's side. You know, not really knowing how things would play out. But I do really like how Tokido started playing all of a sudden much more Ryu style as Akuma. Fireball, heavy for sure. And he just kind of played patiently at the end. No need to make any big, wild moves, and it just happened to get the right amount of super. You know, it could have easily gone the other way. But I thought he played that well. How many? Oh, is there one more? Yeah, I suppose one more.
Akuma win. Round one. Fight.
Yeah, that ground control, man. Yo, he gets what? Look at this fierce. Look at that. And you can charge it, and it crush counters so much that you get a dash forward crouching fierce, and it's cancelable. Come on. Come on. It's really good defense. Something I always wonder, well, I'll talk about this in a sec, I want to see what ends up happening. Yeah, good stuff. When you see somebody as high level as Tokido, I wonder if things that are mix-ups for me, at least, I don't want to speak on everybody's behalf, mix-ups that are mix-ups for me aren't as much because they're a little bit slower. So you see him just blocking, just crouching, not worried about the overhead. Like, maybe he would have just seen the overhead and stood up, you know? I always wonder about that when I see things that people are just confidently blocking in that kind of way. Might have just been that he had the right call also, but maybe he can see it. And if so, that really, really helps him out, you know? Yeah, it's nice to be able to react to things rather than guess. Ooh! Yep, sick. Oh, link it? Yes. That character has so many buttons, oh my god. What? Why would you do that? But he did. Oh, that's not safe. Yeah, you're a little too much gusto. Yeah, maybe he was just willing to take the overhead. Maybe he just was willing to do it. I don't know. That's why wasn't saying that he for sure was gonna react. I just always wonder if that's the case. So here's Aegis. Yeah, good work. Aegis, please? No. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I gotta say, you know, I really like Tokido's Akuma. When you watch Akuma against Zangief, I don't feel like you get to see the full Akuma. I mean, that's why I wanted to watch him versus Zangief, to see what he did, and he did well anyway. But against other characters, you can really see more of the character, I feel. And he does a really good job with him. You know, I love the spacing. I love the fireball usage. I feel like he uses fireballs more than he did as Ryu, and that might be due to just the getting used to the character. Because when the game first came out, he used fireballs as Ryu quite a bit more than when the game had evolved for, you know, over the course of 9 months or a year or whatever it was. By the end of that, he was using, well, he wasn't pressing many buttons at all with Ryu. End of season 1. So that might be something he goes through with Akuma as well. But so far, yeah. I think that Zangief still beats Akuma. Yeah. I don't think that it's a blow-up. I mean, you know, when Akuma came out, like, I beat every Akuma. It was... I'm sure every Zangief beat every Akuma. You know, that was... like a really rough couple of first weeks, I think, for that character against Zangief. But that's how it almost always goes, you know. Even though Zangief, I feel like, is a little bit more built for the long haul in Season 2 and in Street Fighter V, still, with a new character coming out, playing against him, not going to be easy. That's always to Geef's benefit, because Geef, like, knows how he wants to play. Like, Geef's tools, you know, there's some depth in Zangief, but when you see somebody throw a fireball or jump in, you have an option. It's Lariat. You know that. Like, you have your thing. I knocked him down. Okay, I'm going to do SPD or not. Like, it's not rocket science, you know? Speaking of somebody who plays Zangief. Whereas figuring out how to beat those options, that takes more time. That's not day one, you know? That's oftentimes not month one. So I don't feel that it's going to end up being a blow-up in favor of Geef, but I do still think that Geef has an advantage versus Akuma. Yeah.